Hey guys, how are you all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. Still on. Today what I have for you guys is another movie review, and today we're going to be tackling Mary Poppins Returns. Now, quick disclaimer, I do know about the first Mary Poppins, entitled Mary Poppins. I have not sat down and just watched the full thing. I know all about it though. I just haven't actually sat down. I'm on break. Sat down and watched Mary Poppins, the first one. I've heard it was great. Again, I don't trust anyone, so I have to see what one of them. From what I've seen, it was pretty good. So coming into Mary Poppins Returns, of course, Emily Blunt is the new Mary Poppins. Julie Andrews, of course, is not in the lead role. But I think Emily Blunt did a great job with Mary Poppins. I mean, it's not like, Mary Poppins is like Iron Man or, Wolverine or something like that. So, I mean, or Batman, they always get new Batmans and new Supermans and new Spider-Mans. But, I mean, Mary Poppins, you don't really go, oh, it has to be like that, Because Julie Andrews did a great job. But Emily Blunt, I think, did a better job because she had kind of like a sassy spunk part in her. And she just, she took charge and she was funny and she was, bombastic. It was a great movie. But before I get into that, I also want to say that I didn't really think I would enjoy this movie because I don't really like musicals. And I said this before with, I can't remember what movie it was, but I thought it was going to be kind of girly and kind of kiddish and kind of weird, but it turned out to be pretty good. And again, not a huge fan of musicals at all. I just like action, comedy, those kind of things. But I was like, wow, this is actually really good. And it kept going, and it was just fantastic. So now we can get into the nitty-gritty here. So, of course, as I said, Emily Blunt is a fantastic Mary Poppins. She creates her own iconicness, if you know what I mean. Like Julie Andrews, from what I've heard and from what I've seen so far of the first Mary Poppins film, she is the definitive Mary Poppins. But I think that title might be taken by Emily Blunt because she just creates such an iconic role just from this one movie. And it's so new, it already feels like she was the original. You know what I mean? Of course, everyone else does a great job as well. Colin Firth is in this movie. Friggin' Galahad. So we had Taron Egerton, Eggsy, in Robin Hood. Colin Firth, Galahad, Harry Hart in Mary Poppins Returns. So it's kind of funny. So that's why they're not filming Kingsman 3 yet. But, yeah, so great characters across the board. I really did enjoy it. The acting, fantastic as always with basically every Disney movie that's pretty much ever been made. There's a few exceptions, which I, talked about on the channel with Country Bears and Tower of Terror. But, if you haven't seen those, check those out. But this movie has great acting across the board. Very, delivers everything you'd expect, basically. The plot, now, from what I can gather, this has more of a plot than the original Mary Poppins. Because, again, it's hard for me to kind of say Mary Poppins 1 doesn't have a good plot when I haven't actually watched the full thing. But from what I could gather, and I don't want to sound rude here, but from what I can gather is that Mary Poppins shows up and just takes care of kids and teaches lessons. There's probably another alternate plot going on, but it doesn't seem like an actual plot. This one actually, from the get-go, just from the trailers and all that I've seen, it seems like an actual plot. And it was a great plot. You had Mary Poppins come down, of course, because basically the two Banks kids that were in the original Mary Poppins, not the same actor and actress, they're older now, and now they have kids, And Michael's wife passed away, and I think that's his name, Michael. His wife passed away, and his sister's with him, so Mary Poppins comes back down from the heavens above, like Yondu Udanta, and basically, rest in peace, Yondu, basically is just like, hey, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take care of your kids. And they're like, okay, whatever. But there's an alternate plot going on in between these lessons and songs and all this stuff of Colin Firth's character, who basically is the bank guy, and he's like, oh, I'm going to make sure they don't get this house, And so it's not the best plot in the world, but it definitely served its purpose. He had until midnight, till Big Ben clocked in London, and, they had to find this one document that could save their house, or else it would be, taken away from them. And, I'm not going to spoil anything what happens, but, you'll have to see what happens with the plot if you see it. But, so yeah, the plot was great, acting's great. The musical numbers, again, I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but this one really hit it for me. Of course, the first Mary Poppins is so iconic with all their songs, Even if you hate musicals, you have to know what Mary Poppins is at least. And this one had great songs too. I'd say that this one had a lot better songs than the original. Even though the first one was pretty iconic and, they're good songs, this one felt like it had more stuff going on the screen. And, of course, just such kinetic energy going through everything, kind of like Country Bears when they would have the music. Surprisingly, those musical numbers were awesome as well. So I didn't really have any doubt in my mind about this film in terms of musical value, but it was really good. I really did enjoy it. And then of course you get into, the effects that Mary Poppins in, I think it was '64, had okay effects at the time, right? I mean, it's a Disney movie, so it's not gonna look like garbage, but for what they had, whenever there'd be like a CGI element, quote unquote, they'd do like hand drawn things, kind of like how they would do Seven Dwarfs, or Snow White and Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. All those back then, they'd have that same animation in Mary Poppins, so they would go like live action mixed with the animation. However, they do that in this movie too, and they mix live action with animation, but they don't use CGI. I mean, they do, but for those segments where they go, basically they travel inside of a like a pot thing. You have to see the movie, but they go inside a pot, and basically like that's when it transitions, right? So they go in, and instead of having like hand drawn stuff, they actually have it where it's I don't know. You like Princess and the Frog, that movie. It's hand drawn, but it's new hand drawn. You know what I mean? That kind of feel. That's what this movie had, and it was great. I mean, it was paying a great homage to the original film, while also being its own unique thing. So I thought that was really cool and interesting. Basically, everything worked. I mean, I feel weird saying every movie I review is an A or an A+, but I mean, it's true. Every movie I've been reviewing for you guys is just fantastic. And, if I hate it, I'm going to tell you something. But this movie, I really can't think of a whole lot to hate on. The plot isn't the strongest, but, I mean, that doesn't really need to be for Mary Poppins. The acting was great. The musical numbers are great. For me not liking musicals, I really did enjoy them. All the acting, like I said, the script, everything worked. It had a lot of heart to it, and a lot of dramatic moments, which I really didn't expect. It had a cool action scene. So, I mean, it was really I kind of walked into it going, yeah, it's kind of girly, but it's Disney, whatever, I have to see it. I'll have to review it for you guys. But I came out going, hey, that wasn't too girly. That was pretty good. For me, not liking musicals, I really enjoyed the songs. And everything really just surprised me about it. So I'm really going to have to, give Mary Poppins Returns an A+. I thought it was a great film. Does that mean it's the best movie ever? No. Is it? And again, I'll have to... Now, comparing this one to Mary Poppins, for me to compare that, I'd have to say this one's better overall. Of course, it looks better, the songs are better, the acting's better, all that stuff. But Mary Poppins 1 is such a timeless film for Disney. I'm probably going to get destroyed in the comment section, but, it is a good movie. Both of them are really good, but I think Mary Poppins Returns takes the cake a little bit just for being new and updated, and just more of an all-original plot, and, the banks and all that. Everything was just really cool. And, of course, there are a few people from the original film who make cameo appearances in this film, which I'm not going to tell you, but if you do see the movie and you know the actors, you'll know what I mean. So yeah, guys, Mary Poppins Returns, A+, fantastic movie. I was really shocked for me being a dude. I was like, whatever, It's not an action movie or it's comedy or, whatever. But it was surprisingly really good. So if you do have a chance to see it, please go see Mary Poppins Returns. You probably won't be disappointed if you saw the original and you like the original. It just really, it has everything that you'd expect, but it builds on that in a great way. So thank you guys very much for watching, and stay tuned for awesome content in the future. And please like and subscribe and tell me what you liked. If you liked Mary Poppins or Mary Poppins Returns. If you don't like him, if you like him, what was your favorite element of that? And yeah, so thank you guys, and again, we'll see you all in the next video.